What are the fundamentals that you've learned in terms of selling your services or your school to people? Number one, in the different areas,
Yeah.
and maybe secondly, online using the digital spaces.
Being a people's person, opening up and storytelling. So when I
Yeah.
shared my whole experience, I remember I posted a video of myself and my mom crying when they brought her to the shop. Like
Yeah.
that video sitting on 1 million views.
Wow.
And that video alone brought us so many clients.
With the people that you've been, worked with over the year, what have you seen as the biggest challenge that is potentially holding people back from, pushing into business?
Definitely lack of motivation. A lot of students have absolutely no confidence.
Yeah.
They'll do something in class and just not post. I'm like, you're in class, why aren't you posting so that once you start selling, people can respect your value and your business and they can pay whatever price you name because you studied a course through this. Motivation for me is no one is gonna look out for me.
Yeah.
That's what I say to myself, right? There's times I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, if you don't sell this week, if you don't make the profits and the money that you have to make, your mom's gonna suffer and you're gonna suffer. It's literally myself in the mirror. So that, I think, just speaking to yourself and realizing and letting yourself know what's at stake, what's at loss if you don't work hard.
Hello, Resonate community, and welcome to the best and the biggest sales and entrepreneurship podcast in the whole wide world. It's never a podcast episode until I tell you guys how excited I am, because today's episode is really just a good testament of growth and putting in the work to build a business. I am joined by an extraordinary entrepreneur, and his name is Cisco. He's the founder and the CEO of Cisco headquarters, which is a baking school. Hey! How amazing. Cisco, welcome to the Resonate podcast.
Hello. Hi, Michelle.
How are
Thank you.
you?
I am good. How are
Yeah,
you?
I'm good. I'm excited to chat
Amazing.
to you.
I am so excited. Like,
Yeah?
extremely excited.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So let's get into a conversation. Before we hit it off, we normally start with a fire round of questions just to get to know who you are, the things that you like, etc., etc. And my first question to you is the famous question. Okay. What do you look forward to every single morning?
Okay, what do I look forward to
Yeah.
every single morning? I think the challenge of the day,
Yeah.
like what's going to happen today. Also, another thing is because I work with people a lot,
Yeah.
who's going to get the skill today?
Okay.
Yeah,
I like that.
love challenges so much. So what's
Yeah.
the challenge of the day and who's going to get it right today?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. I like that very much. All right, cool. And the second thing is, as somebody who obviously specializes in like mixing things together and like making them happen, if you were to create a flavor that currently doesn't exist, what would it be and what would it taste like?
This is interesting. I think what would it be? I think raspberry, white chocolate,
Okay.
flour, fresh cream. That could be like scones, but like in raspberry and white chocolate flavor. How
Oh, that's
amazing would that
nice.
be? I think that would be so.
Yeah.
I think that would taste absolutely amazing.
Yeah. And you'd like put the white chocolates inside, like
Yeah,
little.
inside the
Yes.
scones, and the raspberries wouldn't be cut at all. I want them to be chunky
Ooh,
and
nice.
big,
Yes.
and a bit of coconut. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
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 yeah, that
yeah.
would be like a signature.
That would be such a signature.
Like
I
a
don't think
Cisco
anything like
scone.
that exists.
Yeah, I haven't seen
Yeah.
it either.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Cool stuff. So, just for a bit of context for the people that are watching, I have known you and your business, I think, for like a year, if
Yeah.
not just a bit more than a
Yeah.
year. No, it's
a
over a
year.
year.
It's over a year. We met last year.
Yeah, it's over a
Yeah.
year. And you shared to me quite a marvelous story around how your business started.
Yeah.
And now, when we're catching up before we started recording, you were telling me about like just you on leave right now.
I'm on leave. Who takes leave?
Hey, who takes
like a
leave?
full week off of work.
And
That's amazing.
small business ownership, that's a
Yeah.
testament to growth.
Yeah, it is. Because I think you wouldn't take leave if you don't need it.
Yeah.
If you have to work a bit harder than you
Yeah.
currently are working, you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be difficult to just leave your business and make the money and still take leave. So
Yeah.
I love that so much. But I want to start from the beginning because I think your story is so powerful. Tell us how Cisco, because initially was it Cisco Bakery?
It was Cisco Bakes Bakery.
Cisco Bakes Bakery.
Mm.
How did that start, and where did your love for baking like come from?
Start, yeah. So growing up, I lived with my grandmother, Mtana Koko, okay,
Oh.
and she used to sell ice cream from home.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go stock ice cream with her, as well as she would sew clothing for people, like,
Yes.
tailor. She would tailor clothing. And obviously she was home.
Mm-hmm.
My parents had separated in 2008
Mm-hmm.
late, like around August, and I had to go live with her. And obviously I couldn't go into school.
Mm.
So you can imagine, I think I was in grade three. So I had to
Mm.
do all of the shopping with her, the tailoring with her.
Mm.
That was basically my school for the rest of August up until December,
December.
because I couldn't, no school would take me.
Mm.
So it was interesting for me to sell, because when people come and buy ice cream, I would run up to go buy and to see the money. Like, it was so exciting. It was
Yes.
exciting for me to look at the money that we've made, because she was such a team player. Like, it was teamwork,
Mm-hmm.
because it was just me and her.
Yeah.
So our profit was money for bread, snacks, all of those things.
Yeah.
So I think the business mind definitely comes from her.
Mm-hmm.
The baking as well. She used to bake from home. She used to bake for church. I would join her, help her, assist her. And I remember there was a time, because so my mom's colored,
Mm-hmm.
and because so my dad's Zulu, right? My
Mm-hmm.
mom's colored, and then we all lived in one place, but I didn't know Afrikaans.
Mm-hmm.
So when I moved in with my granny, I had to learn Afrikaans. Do you
Mm-hmm.
know she taught me Afrikaans through baking? Like, she would
Wow.
say sugar is seker, such things
Okay.
like that. Like, take
Nice.
out the flour, but she would say it in Afrikaans, and I had to figure out what is flour in Afrikaans, like
Yes.
flour,
Mm.
such things. And we'd bake together. That's how I learned Afrikaans. That's how I fell in love with baking, because I was baking with her.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a really interesting time in my life.
Yeah.
And then the whole business itself for me started in 2020, because in 2019 I wanted to go to culinary school. I was studying matric,
Okay.
and I remember when we when I was in matric, right, I wanted to go to culinary school.
Mm.
That my mind was made up. My mom was working, so we thought she would afford it,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing how expensive private businesses and
Yes.
culinary schools are,
Yeah.
right? And I remember there was a time in matric where teachers were helping students apply for funding, bursaries, and all of those things.
Mm.
I was the only student in class, and I sat down. I was like, I've got it figured out. How? I don't know. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm going to culinary school next year.
Mm.
And I remember during my finals, my mom lost her job.
Sure.
So that, like, I knew my dreams were gone. There's no culinary school. No
Mm.
one's going to pay for that, right? And then I had to tap into baking in 2020 January. I was baking. I had an aunt who worked a corporate job. I would give her like 10 packs of scones a day, and she would bring me back like 300 rand. So
Nice.
remember now the childhood from me selling ice creams for my grandmother and
Mm-hmm.
getting excited for money.
Yeah.
That kind of just excited me more. And then when she's giving me 300 rands, I was selling at a taxi rank, and I would make 600 rand a day. So that's
Wow.
900 rand a day,
Mm.
right? And that was just exciting to keep on
Yeah.
continuing to make that much a
Mm-hmm.
day. Yeah.
Oh, I love that so much. That's like,
Yeah.
so beautiful. So you were giving your aunt to sell. You didn't go into culinary school. When do
Mm-mm.
you start officializing the business to like opening shop? Because I remember when I
Yeah.
came to see you, you had a bakery,
Mm.
and you had a coffee shop as well
Yeah.
happening there. You know, you were literally basically setting up your business.
I
How
was
did it get to
setting
that
up.
point? Yeah.
COVID was 2020, right?
Yes.
Which I was home. I couldn't go anywhere. My
Mm.
friends are in varsity. The friends that are home, we can't see each other. So YouTube literally became my best friend.
Yeah.
And I would watch videos on how to bake.
Yeah.
TikTok was still new and trendy at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't doing the dance challenges, by the way. I
Yeah.
was baking. Like, I was watching videos on how to bake different cakes, how to decorate
Yeah.
different cakes, how to style different cakes, and
Mm.
how to create a client base basically.
Mm.
And that happened throughout 2020, 2021. In April I launched. Like, I don't know, I have to tell you, my business and the ideas are, I think it comes from God and my angels, honestly,
Amen.
because what does a 20-year-old know about launching?
Yeah.
You
A
know, a
business.
business. And because I didn't have a shop, I didn't have a venue. You know what I did?
Mm.
Because I lived in Katlehong, right?
Mm.
There was a Pick and Pay close to me. The Pick and Pay had like a garden venue that you could hire out and rent out for a day.
Mm.
So I rented out that space. I sold tickets. I think it was $70, and it
Mm-hmm.
gets you a cocktail and
Okay.
like two of your favorite cakes. Now this is happening in Kokasi. No one is
Mm.
used to those kind of events
Yeah.
anyway,
Mm.
and people bought tickets. Like I sold 53 tickets,
Wow.
and it was 70 rand a ticket, and that was like 3.5. And
Mm.
I spent about 1.7 on the venue and the ingredients, and I had so much money left thereafter. That's when the business launched, and people tasted the cake, and that's how you create clients, by the way,
Mm.
because that's how clients started ordering monthly from
Mm.
me, even weekly. So that's how we
Nice.
started, and then we saved up from just selling at the taxi rank, of course,
Yeah.
and baking for clients. After I've saved, 2023 December, that's when the shop, like the whole idea came to me. I was like, I looked at the money in the bank account. I was like, this is enough.
Mm.
This is enough. Like I can get a little small shop in a busy area. All I need is a fridge, a cake display. I can bake from home. When
Mm.
you met me, I was still baking from home, by the
I
way.
remember, yeah, because there
Yeah.
wasn't space to
Yeah,
bake
no,
at your
no, no.
store.
I was baking from home, and I would bring the stuff to the shop at 6 in the morning so that
Yeah.
no one sees. Because by 8 there was
Shucks.
a line. People were buying the scones
Yeah.
already, so I didn't want them to see me coming in with packages and packages of cakes
Mm.
every day. Yeah, so that's how the whole Cisco Bakery shop
Actually
started.
started.
Yeah.
Nice. So take me through the process of selling, because I mean, I see now, even from your
Mm,
TikTok, you have a lot of people that enter into your
yeah,
courses. Your courses are now accredited,
yeah.
and you've obviously now have a bigger space where you
Mm-hmm.
actually teach from there and you curate all of these beautiful recipes that you do. What are the fundamentals that you've learned in terms of selling your services or your school to people? Number one, in the different areas,
Yeah.
and maybe secondly, online using the digital spaces.
Honestly, I think being a people's person, opening up and storytelling. Now, in December, when I opened the shop, I knew that Jan, not a lot of people are going to be buying cakes. How am I going to pay rent?
Mm.
And I had to go on TikTok and rant and just vent about how I started the school. And, I did these little pictures. You see those story times?
Yes.
I did that where I was just honestly telling people that this business has no funding. I started from nothing. I surprised my mom, by the way, with the shop because she didn't know. So I knew that a
Nice.
founding story, people fall in love so much with a story
That's
before
true.
they fall in love with the business.
Mm-hmm.
Business is fine, but they need to know what led you to starting that business. So when I
Yeah.
shared my whole experience, I remember I posted a video of myself and my mom crying
Mm.
when they brought her to the shop. Like
Yeah.
that video sitting on 1 million views.
Wow.
And that video alone brought us so many clients
Mm.
because we even had a canvas. I think you saw it right
Mm-hmm.
at the shop. We had a whole
Yes.
canvas,
Yeah.
and people would sign and write their names to
Yeah.
say, Umbali was here. Just making an example.
Yes.
Yeah, they would write like Umbali was here 2020. What?
Yeah.
Congrats Cisco. All of those things, and that was a full canvas. The canvas is so full. It's in my office right now, and
Nice.
all of those people that wrote on that canvas are people that I don't know.
Mm.
Those are people from TikTok, right? So
Wow.
even when I posted the canvas on TikTok to say that if you come to the shop, you get to write a little message for Cisco.
Mm-hmm.
So I think founding story, definitely.
Yeah.
That's definitely a selling point. Your story, people need to know your story. People need to fall in love with your story, and you need
Yeah.
to be as true and as authentic as possible. Mm.
Mm. Oh, falling in love with the founder story. That's so powerful because what you basically capitalized on was tapping into the emotion
Yeah,
of people and getting them to buy into you, because essentially when people buy into the story, they buy into the vision.
they buy into the vision.
And your ability to actually execute within that vision.
Mm.
I love that so much. What has been your biggest challenge, especially when you were like kickstarting the business? Because now there's rent, ne?
Yeah,
It's no longer at home,
yeah.
and now you have to look for more clients and work even
Mm.
harder. What has been the
Yeah.
biggest challenge for you?
I think understanding what works. I think we called you at that time. That's the time
Yes.
I reached out. I was like, I need your help. And, selling was great at that time, but we had a lot of students. And the
Mm.
shop was just so small to train. And I think that's when I realized and found my love for training because so many people were DMing me, can you teach me how to start my own business? Can you
Mm.
teach me, how did you open a bakery? Like the DMs are, what equipment do you need? How do you start a business?
Yeah.
How did you start such things? And I was like, okay, I need to do something about these DMs so that I don't answer them. I started by, I need to sell the
Yeah.
starting point, right?
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, okay. I remember I announced to my mom, I was like, let's close the shop. And she was like, why? And I was like, if we close the shop,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to grow because we are not sustaining the business this way. We end up using our own money to pay the rent
Yeah.
because the shop's not selling, right?
Mm.
But the school is selling. But now, at the same time, we have to pay rent at the shop. Then we
Mm.
have to book different facilities for the school. So
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. It's like we're paying double the rent.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to her, let's open a headquarters where we do everything in one. The headquarters will be so busy. This was now manifesting. I was like, it'll
Yes.
be so busy. I'm going to change my whole clients to private clients.
Oh,
We're
wow.
going to take private orders. We won't have walk-ins anymore,
Yes.
and we'll focus on training and private clients.
Yeah.
I think she understood that. We closed down. A month later, we opened a school. And now that the school's open, I think rent-wise, we are okay. But how do you become okay in that is by following what is currently trending,
Mm.
what's making money, for your business. You need to be um, realistic,
Mm-hmm.
if I can say, because if I am being honest, the shop was making money, but it wasn't making money at the same time.
Yeah.
But the school was making money.
Mm.
So I had to choose, like, what am I going to take? Because if a course is more expensive than a cake,
Mm.
why wouldn't I just give my heart and my whole passion into
Yeah.
teaching people and instilling the skill and seeing
Mm.
the set of skills, the whole percentage in our country, it's
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
People are really, really unskilled,
That's
especially
true.
when it comes to business skills alone.
Mm.
Yeah.
I love that. And what I've also seen, which you now do as part of Cisco headquarters, is that you will do a course around teaching them how to
Yeah.
bake. And then it's also like encapsulated with like a business, just the business
Yeah.
fundamentals. And now that you've learned to bake, how do you move forward to actually begin to get clients? And that is just so powerful. What was
Yeah.
the mindset behind that?
The mindset behind that was competitors,
Mm.
right? Have to look at your competitors and what you're doing.
Yes.
Now, my competitors are honestly, your big culinary schools.
Yes.
That's how I feel. You
Mm-hmm.
need to take yourself higher. They don't teach students business. Unfortunately, it's just you come in and you bake and they teach you how to bake and then you
Yeah.
go home. So I was like, what can I do to actually make more money from these
Mm-hmm.
very students? Now, then we teach them the fundamentals of starting the business only because I've been through it. I've sold at a taxi rank before. I've launched before. I've
Mm.
seen how you can make money and how you cannot make money in this kind
Yeah.
of business. So we created a whole new venture creation type of course that's
Nice.
included within the baking course, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where we teach them how to market your business, how to sell your business, and so forth. And then after the course, what then? Right?
Mm.
Like what happens after the
Yes.
course? I don't know if you saw, but just 2 weeks ago we created the Cisco's Black Box. Did you see that?
I saw
Yeah.
that and I loved that so much. I
Yeah.
thought that was such a brilliant way to get people started.
Mm. Right now, my students after class, they would ask, like, where do I buy the equipment that we used in class?
Mm.
I have to refer them to these suppliers, but then I was like, that's not smart.
Yes.
Let's create a whole brand out of it.
Yeah.
And actually, they take the course, they pay for the course. After
Mm-hmm.
paying for the course, you also pay for your equipment. You leave the entire class and the entire session with your equipment. That means more money for me, growth
Mm-hmm.
in my business as well,
Mm.
and just offering an all in one. Like they get everything in one place.
Mm. That's actually very beautiful because what then happens is as they walk away, they're just basically walking away to get their first clients.
Yeah.
But they already have the tools and the resources to make sure that they can get those clients moving forward,
Yep.
which is absolutely important. With the people that you've been, worked with over the year, what have you seen as the biggest challenge that is potentially holding people back from, pushing into business? And maybe if you can also tap into your part of the experience in terms of growing and scaling the business, what are the challenges you've seen affect people from like starting and actually by beginning to build a business moving forward?
I think definitely lack of motivation, right? I'm going to make this example. Some of my students, right? I have this conversation with them all the time in class to say, guys, when you leave my class, you need to start making your first sale,
Mm.
right? And I don't know. I think also family issues. Students talk a lot about family issues and having no support, confidence. A lot of students have absolutely no confidence.
Yeah.
They'll do something in class and just not post. I'm like,
Mm.
you're in class. Why aren't you posting so that once you start selling, people can respect your value and your business and they can pay whatever
Mm.
price you name because you studied a course through this.
Yeah.
And I think just that, man.
Mm.
Yeah.
The confidence thing is quite a big
It
issue.
is. It
Very,
is,
very big.
especially with ladies, because I teach 90% of my students are
Wow.
ladies. So
Mm.
they just lose the confidence. Sometimes they come to class and they do these short courses and let's say they've baked for 4 days, right?
Yeah.
The last day is the day where they have to decorate a cake and they fail at it, right? And no matter how much you can try to teach them and show them, they give up very easily. I have to
Mm.
say that. Young women, for me, generally, most of them just give up really easy. And it's
Mm.
sad to see. We try to help. I mean, with my business, we are on group chats and I try to motivate them and I give them your weekly tasks and challenges. But
Yeah.
confidence, I think that's definitely
Mm.
something that we need to work on as black businesses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely a big one. You also touched a little bit around lack of motivation.
Yeah.
And I remember you and I having such an extensive conversation when we met
Yeah.
uh,
Yes.
earlier
Yeah.
regarding that, together with your mom. How
Hmm.
have you navigated that for yourself, and how do you continue to?
Motivation for me is no one is going to look out for me.
Yeah.
That's what I say to myself, right? There's times I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, if you don't sell this week, if you don't make the profits and the money that you have to make, your
Mm.
mom's going to suffer and you're going to suffer. It's literally myself in the mirror.
Mm.
So that, I think just speaking to yourself and realizing and letting yourself know what's at stake, what's at
Mm.
loss
Mm.
if you don't work hard. Because there are times where I also feel demotivated.
Yeah.
If there's a week and there's just no orders, and then I stop
Mm.
posting completely and I stop talking about my business completely just because there wasn't an order this week.
Yeah.
So I think just communicating to yourself and understanding that, there's different times, there's off peaks, there's on peaks. Business is a challenge. It's a little up and down, up and I'm
Yeah.
sure it's like
Hey,
there's times
it's
where
a
things
lot.
are just so quiet and you just don't understand how, and then there's
Mm.
things where there's times where things are really just so high and it's beautiful and we're having
Yeah.
fun. So pray as well. Talk
Mm.
to God. I think it's very important to pray. I usually wake up at midnight and I
Yeah.
pray so much. It'll take me about 20 to 30 minutes just to talk to God, and like it's my little therapy. Just talk to
Mm.
God, let him know what your challenges are, write down your dreams. Also, don't think about an idea and then let it go. For
Yeah.
example, the black box, right? The whole black box idea came to me while I was praying,
Mm.
where I feel like God was like, you need to sell something that's going to make these students sell.
Mm.
And the following day, I didn't have enough money to start buying, right? But I bought the packaging only. Like I sat
Sure.
with the packaging for a good 2 months, not knowing what the black box will be. And
Mm.
I started posting and exciting people to say there's a black box coming, but I didn't know what's included in the whole black box.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, show me the right suppliers, show me the right spaces, the right places to get these equipment that I need for these students to start their own
Mm-hmm.
businesses. I've covered the packaging at least. That's the least that I could do. So I
Yeah.
think just don't sleep on ideas. If an idea
Mm.
comes now and it's good, start. Like don't take time.
Immediately.
No, no, no. You need to start with something. It could be the smallest of step, like the
Yeah.
littlest, tiniest of step that you have to take. Just
Yeah.
step on it. It'll
Mm.
keep you motivated.
That's so powerful. And I think one of the things that I've shared with you in the past and I continue to share with a lot of people, and
Yeah.
I've to an extent see you embody this, is the fact that motivation won't always remain, but discipline will.
Mm.
You know that, and you will see that the more that your business grow, you don't need motivation to carry through you through its discipline. You know that I need to wake up in the morning and go there,
Mm-hmm.
whether I like it or not. You know that if I don't
Yeah.
make money this week, whether I'm
Yeah.
depressed, I'm going through a breakup, or whatever it is happening
Yeah.
in my life, my business unfortunately
My
does not
business
care.
has to
My
continue.
business has
I
to
think
continue.
I think also discipline for me started at a young age because
Yeah.
remember when I was selling at the rank, I wasn't eating that money.
Mm.
I
Eesh.
was saving that money and my friends would still call me. Remember, I'm 21.
Yes.
So that's the time we need to be going out to the clubs, and
Yes.
I would decline those invites, and
Mm.
my friends would get so mad. I'm like, guys, I'm saving towards a bigger goal and no one will understand. I didn't understand what I was saving for myself, but I was like, when the time comes, when I look into that bank account and it has grown, I will know what to do. So I think discipline for me came from such a young age, from saving that little 300 from cakes. It really is possible. A lot of people look into funding. I'm not saying funding is a bad thing, but you can honestly do a lot by yourself, you
Yeah.
know. I mean, even when I started training, the money that we made from training had to buy more ovens, it had to buy more
Nice.
equipment. No one was getting paid. My mom was not getting a cent. I was not getting paid. It's only now that we have all the equipment that we need to actually teach. Now we've got pay slips and we can get paid, but it takes time.
Yeah.
So much time.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can imagine. Take me through the diligence you have to do with the paperwork in the business. Because, I mean, if you having to set systems together for a pay slip and now there's payments and
Yeah.
there's so many, things that come together for this business to follow through and for it to happen. What does that look like and what have you learned in that process?
I've learned definitely to have a budget. My mom is very strict when it comes to money. Oh my gosh, like she wouldn't even let me buy like a perfume if there is no reason.
Yeah.
Like if it's not important.
Mm-hmm.
So we have our monthly budget on our spending.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've got our own little system, our spreadsheet that we work with that helps us manage our finance in business, because I personally don't think we are ready to add on like a finance manager or so
Mm-hmm.
forth. So we have to do all of those things, but it
Yeah.
needs to come with so much discipline, like so much discipline and having someone who's strict. I think my mom definitely is such a huge contributor to helping me
Mm.
manage the systems that we currently have
Yeah.
and just not overspend and think, oh, we had 16 students this month, was so
Yes.
rich.
Yeah.
No, you have to keep the money for next month. See
Yes.
what's going to happen next month before you spend it. Yeah.
Very true.
Hmm.
Very, very true. How has it been like working with your mom? I've met your mom and she's
Yes.
amazing. But
Thank you.
we have several episodes with people where we talk about working with family
Mm,
and working with our relatives and how difficult it can be. How is
yeah.
it been working and building a business with your mom?
My mom and I are very close. Well, you've met her, so
Yes.
you know she's still
Yeah,
young.
very
She
much.
looks young. She had me at a young age, and we just have this almost like a friendship. You know, I call
Nice.
her Choma. Like, hey, Choma. Like,
Yeah.
every day at work, even at home.
Mm.
So I think the whole relationship, I don't act like her boss,
Mm-hmm.
but she kind of treats me like I act like her boss, if that makes sense.
That's
Like she would
nice.
come to my office and like, Cisco, there's someone to see you. I'm just
Mm.
like, you could have just like said,
Yeah,
like I
that's
don't
so
know,
sweet.
like a home thing, but then I understand where it comes from.
Mm.
She becomes professional in a
Mm.
professional space when
Yeah.
we have to work. She respects me. And I like that about her. I respect her too, and especially in front of students, we really have to nurture our entire relationship together.
Yeah.
So I think working with her, man, I enjoy working with my mom. It's
Yeah.
actually amazing. I know working with family can be tough, but with her, because I started this business with her, and I think she
Mm.
had a little bit of guilt when she lost her job, because she promised me that she'll take me to culinary school,
Mm.
but it was out of her control when she lost the job.
Yeah.
So whatever I wanted to do, she was like, I'm gonna support it. Like, what do you want? I'm like, buy me flour. I'm gonna try something. She buys the flour.
Oh.
That's, I think, that whole relationship and starting the business together. And I think it's also just a way of her showing her full support for me and my
Yeah.
business, because she really treats it as if it's her own, man. Like
Yeah.
she looks over each and everything. Like she
Yeah.
makes sure that the business is great, it's doing well. And she's got 11 years management experience
That's
anyway. So
amazing.
that's a blessing on its own. She knows how
Mm.
to manage stuff. I don't think I would manage the business the way that I currently am if it wasn't for her, because I'm
Mm.
learning so much from her.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's really, really awesome. The last time I visited you at the bakery
Yeah.
store, the small one that you
Yeah, the
had,
small one.
you shared some amazing news with me that you were going to be featured on ETV
Yes.
for a feature that they were
Mm.
having. And I've since seen you do things very much differently
Yeah.
on the social media platforms. Do
Yeah.
you have a social media strategy that
Yes.
you're implementing? And give us the juice, give us the insights. What are you doing and what's working on your
Oh,
social media platform
yeah.
to grow your business?
I think my social media platform before all of that was just general life.
I remember very
If
well.
I'm at the club, I will post at the club, right? But then I think also just watching these YouTube videos, watching videos like your videos actually. I used to watch a lot of your
Yeah,
reels.
because
I
that's how
still
you got
do.
in touch with me.
Yeah, that's how I got in touch with you. And I think social media discipline, knowing what to post, right? I always say to my students now that, guys, if you're going to post, whether it's WhatsApp or whatever, you need to have a separate account, have a business account and your personal account. Because
Yeah.
imagine I'm posting alcohol on a Saturday, on a Sunday, I'm posting a heartbroken quote, then on Monday, I'm posting a cake. Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
right? So I think that whole discipline came for me where I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a separate account, business account, and we only post business stuff. Even my personal Instagram, because it's so public, the only thing I have to share is my business. And I think right now it's taking me to a place where I'm finding my niche. My people are finding me.
Yeah.
It's insane how social media works and
Yeah.
people find you. Because I was so worried. I think I had about 5K something followers, but all of these followers were people that were not following me because of my business
Yeah.
at all. And since then, the new people that are following me now, it's only because of my business and because of what I post.
I love
So
that.
I think having a bit of discipline when it comes to social media, knowing what to say, what not to say, what to share, what not to share in protection of you and your business.
Yeah.
What you post matters, what you say matters. Clients look into all of those things. I am now finding myself where, last week, when I had my whole graduation ceremony, right?
Yes.
We had CETA people there. One of the CETA ladies broke news to me. She said they've been trying to get in contact with me, they've been trying to call me
Wow.
and email me, and they were inviting me to a 10-day trip to New York, but I never responded to those emails. I didn't see them, it was in junk. Eh.
Oh,
So, yeah,
shucks.
yeah, yeah. So, checking my junk emails now is very important.
Yeah.
And it
Or
was an,
maybe
yeah,
moving from Gmail
yeah, no, 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 it's
to, is
Outlook.
it Outlook?
Yeah, they've got junk on Outlook. I promise they do.
Okay, another
And
service provider then.
yeah, and then
Oh,
I was
that's
I was just I was
hectic.
just so sad that I missed that. And when I asked her how they sourced me, she was like, "We went through your social media, all of those things." So
Yeah.
that also was also another thing to say. Whatever you post matters because you don't know the opportunities that are out there for
Yeah.
you. They chose me because of what I post. Yeah.
Your social media is basically your public CV.
Yeah, it is also how you act is how people see you.
Yeah.
So if you act like a businessman, people will respect you and see you as a
Yeah.
businessman. I remember people used to make a joke and call me the baker in suits because I wear so much suits.
Yes.
Yeah, they're like, ah, he's just a baker in suits, and I had to take that statement and swallow it. And I was like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna kill it.
Yes.
I'm actually gonna bake in suits.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my commercials in suits. I'm gonna make sure that the baker in suits really is a baker in
Yeah.
suits.
It's
Like
gonna be your thing.
it should not be. Yeah,
Yeah.
like whoever said that meant it in a bad way, but
Yes.
it really shaped and it really molded my business.
I
When
like
people
that.
see me in public spaces, when people see me on social media, I'm always in a suit. So
Yeah.
I could be in a suit carrying a cake. Imagine how cute that picture
Yeah.
is.
Very nice and
Yeah.
aesthetic as well. It's
Yeah,
like it's
and
very different.
professional and
Yes.
expensive.
I like that. I really, really like that. Okay. So, because of time, I've got two last questions for you. And I think the second last one is more like a feedback question.
Yeah.
I've worked and interacted with you for quite some time. And let me first of all say that I'm very proud of you. I think the
Thank
Cisco I met when we had
you.
our first session
Was a baby.
was so different. There was
Yeah.
like so many nerves and there was this business idea and all of these things. And just to see you now thrive so much, I'm just like, praise the Lord. And one of the things, and I think I've said this to you so much, that I think what makes you win so much amongst a lot of my clients is that you implement everything we talk about.
Yeah. And
Like,
immediately.
yeah, immediately. Like if we
Yeah.
had a session and we said, Cisco, this is what you're going to do, by tomorrow I'll already see you start
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
And that's been the best catalyst to, I think, you getting the results that you've had. But I'd like to hear from you because I think it's very important for the platform and particularly for myself, rather, the work that I
Yeah.
do. What has been, I think, the biggest strategies or nuggets or the things that you've potentially gotten from the sessions that we've had together, or some of the content that you've consumed that we've put out there?
Okay. Um, Definitely how you taught me, and you gave me this idea of supplying and doing a bit of catering, and I remember I was like, I don't want to be a caterer. I don't want to supply. But then when you were like, you need to do all of these things, and you showed me the math of how much money I could make. The following day, one of the strategies you gave me was to actually go to office parks. Remember, you
Yes.
said to me, go to office parks, let them taste your cakes, and then go to restaurants and so forth.
Mm.
We did that. A month later, we got a call from a company to do a team building, like a
Yeah.
cake tasting,
Yeah.
cake decorating type of team building. Great. Then I supplied the Rock in 4 Ways at Design Quarter. I supplied them with cakes. We still are supplying them with cakes,
Oh
by
my
the way.
gosh.
And I've stopped now because of the school.
Mm-hmm.
But those strategies definitely they worked.
Yeah.
That's how I got to grow my business. I think that's how I even got to move, because you made me realize what I needed to focus on. If it was more students, if it was a school, then let's do that.
Yeah.
And we met, I think it was around March. In June, that's when I closed down the shop, and we said,
Insane.
let's move and start teaching people. And also the thing of like looking at your competitors, because I wasn't at the time. And I looked at my competitors, and I actually put myself at a level where my competitors are the high end culinary schools. That was my whole thing, where I was like, I'm gonna look at that as my competitors and see what I could do. And I saw that I could offer more affordable courses. I
Yeah.
could teach business. I could supply them with equipment. Those three have been my win
Sure.
goals, because every student that signs up for the course now, they'll pay for the course and they'll pay for the equipment. So
Yeah.
rich.
And the price you charge now is much better.
Much better. I don't undervalue myself anymore. We look at all of these things that matters, and we do the math, we do the whole experience. The value, remember you said to me your value goes up
Yes.
whatever I achieve. So every time I achieve a TV show,
It's like,
another TV show, a radio interview, more 10K followers,
Yeah.
like the price just goes up and up and
Yeah.
up, because honestly that is your value.
Yeah.
Like your whole profile, your whole CV. You said it was your
Yeah.
whole public CV.
Yeah.
Once that goes up, you need to value it, and you need to charge without being scared and thinking for the client. You can't decide if the client can afford it or not.
Yeah.
At first, remember, I used to like ask them, what's your budget? Now I don't do that. I name my price, and the client will decide if they can afford me or not, based off of what I've achieved, really, and the experience that I have, and the amazing things that I can do in my craft and in my industry.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. That was a big super, because I do remember our first meeting, we actually spoke for hours. Your mom was there. We had papers, and I drew a whole map. We did numbers.
An entire map.
It was so extensive.
Yeah.
But I do remember coming back again, and you literally giving me feedback on everything,
I
to say,
did.
I've gone, I visited this many office
Yeah.
parks. This is what they said.
Yeah.
I've supplied this. I've already made money in this
Yeah.
avenue. And for me, that was like, those are the kind of people I want to work with. Those are the kind of people I want to work with that will implement and refine and
Yeah.
work it according to their strategy
I
and their
think
vision.
implementation is so important,
So key.
Michelle. Like you have to implement whatever idea comes. Like if I were to go to bed today and I wake up with an idea tomorrow, I'm gonna implement it.
Yes.
Especially if the idea makes sense.
Yes.
Like if it really, really makes sense and you can see the money in your mind. Because honestly, besides doing this for passion, we need the money.
Yeah.
We really do need to live and
Yes.
survive and afford ourselves and our lifestyles.
Yeah.
So it's not just the passion.
Yeah.
We need
The cash.
We need the
Please.
cash.
Okay. That's awesome. That's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. It was an honor to have worked with you.
Such an honor.
And it really was. And I'm always so proud of you every time I
I'm
see
proud
your
of
work.
you.
I'm
I
just
really
like,
am. Your business is growing. I'm
Yeah.
so proud of you. I think looking at your story from the wedding planner,
Yeah.
all of those things. Do you know I used to rap?
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Really?
friend's over there, she'll tell you.
Really?
And I don't know how to sing. I'm not a musician,
Yeah.
but I had to make money. So
Yeah.
when I watched your video sharing how you used to be a wedding planner, blah
Yeah.
blah blah, before you found what you're doing now, I
Yeah.
think of myself to say, I also back then used to rap because there was something called Sambru, right? Where they pay you like
Yes, I
yeah,
remember
yeah, yeah.
that.
So
Yeah.
I was doing it for money because my friends were all boys and they had like a studio. So we
Okay.
could like download a beat
Oh my
and
gosh.
sing on the beat
Yeah.
and then upload it. The more views it gets, the more money we can
Money you
claim.
get.
So business. See,
Yeah.
I've also done a few things that
Yeah.
no one knows.
I like that so much. Was this during the time where YFM used to have these ciphers on
Yes.
radio?
Yes, and competitions where you
Yes,
guys
I
win
remember that.
money. You win like
Yeah.
15K and there's five of you. That's a lot of
Yeah.
money. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So I used to be
okay.
a rapper. My name was, my rap name was Cisco Lisco.
What?
I know.
You're rapping in Afrikaans.
No, in
Cisco,
English.
let's go.
I don't know
Sounds
what
like
that
you're
means.
about to rap like
I
this. You
know.
know?
And I can't rap right now. I don't know how to anymore.
Well, we praise Jesus that you're now
Amen.
a baker
Yeah.
and an entrepreneur who's teaching
And I
other
found my
people.
niche.
Yes. I love that so much. How old are you now?
I am 24. Imagine me at
Oh,
30.
you're going to
That's what
kick
I,
butt.
yeah, like literally I look
Yeah.
at myself every day. I'm like, imagine you at 30,
Yeah.
like you're 24.
Yeah.
I don't think,
Yeah.
I think I'm very grateful that I've achieved so much at this age and I've
Yeah.
had this much discipline. I pray to God that He continues to give me this discipline and this attitude and this
Yeah.
confidence and this
Yeah.
money and these clients and the
Yeah.
students and the success. That's all I
Hallelujah.
need. And we are all at peace and we are all calm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me, if you were to leave a message to Cisco at 30 right now, for Cisco at 30 or this 29th year leading to 30 to come
Yeah.
back and watch, what would you say to him?
What would I say to Cisco, who's 30 years now?
Yeah. So like leave a message for him right now.
The one who's 30 years old.
Yeah.
You, my boy, are going to, like, you're going to kill it. You're going to prosper. I think at age 30, you're going to live in that mansion
Yeah.
and you're going to be so chilled. You're probably going to have 3, if not 4 bakeries. I promise, all over the world. And you're going to have more baking schools. You're going to change lives. And I think at 30, you'll just be someone who goes in to check in the office. You probably would have sold your name. I don't know. It'll depend on how much money we need.
Yeah.
But you're going to be very successful. At 30, I promise I'm going to work so hard to make sure that the Cisco at 30
Yeah.
makes it.
Can I
That he's just
sprinkle?
chilled.
Can I sprinkle like a baking TV show there?
Yes,
Yeah?
of course. A little
Yeah.
baking
On
TV
like the Food
show.
Network.
Yeah, a whole baking show. More classes, like a show teaching people.
Yes.
Because I really think people that can't afford courses, they need that kind of show. They need like a show that's like a school
Yes.
where you can watch the teachers really teaching you stuff and
Yeah.
talking to you.
Yeah.
So if I were to do a show, it would be
Yeah.
something like that, more like an online baking school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shucks. Okay. That sounds beautiful. I can't wait to see you at 30. I think you're going to do amazing
And
stuff.
more equipment, more branded equipment.
Yeah.
Like from scratch. I wanna, cause now with the black box, right? It's really nice startup equipment, but they're not branded because they're not mine. I got them from suppliers.
Okay.
But now I'm currently doing research on how can we make ours from scratch, and I think next year we would have figured that out.
Come on.
And I think it's gonna be a Checkers. You're gonna be able to buy
Oh,
those
I love
equipment.
that. Like a Cisco wholesaler. You can get all your
Yeah.
baking equipment
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
It's gonna be at all of these popular retail shops and baking shops.
I can't wait to see that. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. This
has
was
been
absolutely
beautiful.
fantastic. It was
I'm
beautiful.
glad.
I had so much fun. Like,
I'm glad.
I'm
This
not
was
even
amazing.
nervous. I wasn't
Yeah,
nervous.
never. Not
Oh,
at all.
We did well.
Not at all.
The
We did so
confidence
well.
is there.
Yeah. Oh, you've grown so much. I'm just in
Thank
awe.
you.
I'm just like, hi, Bo. You've grown so
Thank
much, and I'm proud
you.
of you. Thank you so much for coming to the
Thank you so
podcast.
much.
Resonate community, I hope that you enjoyed that. I am enjoying basking in beautiful stories of entrepreneurs who are showing resilience, entrepreneurs who are showing confidence in building things that matter to them, despite the bad days, despite not even having the money to build the vision that you want to. But they're still pressing forward to say, I know I'm going to do it. I just don't know how. I'll figure it out. And God will partner with me and we will still continue to do it. So I just hope that you can take that for yourself and really realize that as the year ends, you have the opportunity to start planning, putting together, and praying about the things that you want to do in the coming year so that you can rock, so that next year, this time, you are looking and watching, and you're also just looking at your life to realize that I've done it, and it's all going to be worth it, and you've kicked butt. So thank you so much for joining us for this episode. We'll love you guys, and we'll see you guys in our next episode. Goodbye.